When Emily told me she needed space, I thought she meant a few days. Couples fight. Sometimes silence feels safer than words. But a few days turned into a week and then 2. She barely looked at me. No morning greetings. No good nights. Just the sound of her footsteps passing mine in the hallway. It was like living with a ghost who still paid bills and watered the plants. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I'd pushed too hard about that trip she took to Portland. The one she said was all work. I replayed every conversation, searching for what triggered this wall between us. But the truth? It wasn't about one thing. It was the accumulation of quiet rejections. The dinners eaten separately, the phones flipped face down, the laughter that vanished from our home. By the 3rd week, I'd stopped trying. The house had adjusted to her silence like it was normal. Even our dog, Milo, seemed to tiptoe around her. Every night, I'd sit on the couch, scrolling through old photos, the ones where she'd smile at me like I was her whole world. I wondered where that version of us had gone. Then one night, my phone rang. It was close to midnight. The number was unfamiliar, local area code, but not saved in my contacts. I hesitated, thinking it might be work. When I picked up, a soft voice said, "Is this Daniel?" "Yes," I replied cautiously. "This is Rachel," she said. "I don't think we've met, but I work with your wife." My pulse ticked up. "Oh, hi. Is everything okay?" There was a pause, too long to be casual. "I just thought you should know," she whispered. "Emily's been spending a lot of time with someone from our office. Maybe more than you think." My throat went dry. "What are you talking about?" But before I could ask anything else, she hung up. I sat there staring at the screen, the call log glowing like a warning light. My first instinct was denial, someone's prank, maybe. But then I remembered Emily's silence, the distance, the way she flinched whenever her phone buzzed. The puzzle pieces I'd been ignoring suddenly started to fit. The next morning, I didn't confront her. Instead, I watched. I noticed how she smiled at her phone. Not the half-hearted smile she gave me, but a real one. How she suddenly changed her passcode. How her late meetings grew more frequent. It hurt, but I needed to be sure. By the end of that week, I'd set up a simple plan. I'd left my phone on the kitchen counter one evening and pretended to go for a jog. I didn't actually go anywhere. I just waited outside, by the living room window. After 20 minutes, I saw her pick up my phone. Her expression changed instantly when she saw the call log. Her hands trembled. She didn't know I was watching. She went pale, not angry pale, but caught pale. She set the phone down, pressed her palms against the counter, and just stood there, breathing heavily. When I walked back in, she didn't say a word. Not a single question about the jog. Not even an accusation. Just a stiff silence and that same ghostly distance. That night, she didn't sleep beside me. She stayed in the guest room. And by the next morning, her things, the ones she kept on the nightstand, her perfume, her jewelry box, were gone. No note, no message, just the sound of an empty house. For the first time, I realized the silence wasn't a punishment. It was a confession. For 2 days, I didn't move anything she left behind. Her mug still sat by the sink. Her scarf hung by the door. The quiet felt heavier than anger. It was the kind of silence that doesn't need to explain itself. On the 3rd day, a delivery guy dropped a package addressed to her. I opened it without thinking. Inside was a framed photo. Emily and a man I'd never seen before. They were standing close, his hand on her shoulder, both smiling like a couple on vacation. The photo wasn't new either. Judging by her hairstyle and clothes, it was taken just weeks ago. There it was, the truth I had been circling around for a month. The reason behind her wordless distance. The reason she couldn't even fake small talk anymore. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I just sat on the couch and stared at the frame until it stopped hurting. But then my phone buzzed again. Same number. "Rachel?" I answered, my voice sharp. "What do you want this time?" "Daniel," she said, her tone softer now. "I thought you should know. She quit today. She came to the office early, packed up everything, didn't say goodbye to anyone." "She left the city?" "Yeah, no one knows where. But that guy, the one she was seeing, he didn't go with her." That part hit me strangely. What do you mean? Rachel hesitated, then sighed. He's married, Dan. He never planned to leave his wife. Emily found out last week. So that was it. The silence wasn't her pride, it was shame. She'd been living with the weight of her own mistake. Too guilty to face me. Too broken to confess. That night, I walked through the house like a stranger. Every room smelled like her. Faint perfume, old memories. I opened her closet, half expecting to find something she'd forgotten, but instead found an envelope taped to the inside wall. My name written in her neat handwriting. I stood there for a long moment before opening it. Inside, a short letter. Daniel, I know you know. Maybe you knew long before that call. I thought if I stayed silent long enough, the distance would kill what little was left between us, so you wouldn't have to. I don't expect forgiveness, but I do hope you remember the years before I lost myself. You didn't fail me. I failed us. Emily. It was only half a page, but every line burned. I read it until the ink blurred through tears I didn't expect to shed. Days passed, then weeks. Friends started asking where she was. I just said, she's gone. Nothing more. The details didn't matter anymore. One evening, I got another call. This time, not from Rachel, but from an unknown number again. I almost didn't pick up. Daniel? A woman's voice said, unfamiliar. I'm calling from St. Helena Medical Center. We have a patient named Emily Dawson. She listed you as her emergency contact. My heart froze. When I reached the hospital, she was lying there, pale, eyes closed, for attached to her arm. The doctor said it was exhaustion, dehydration, stress-induced. They'd found her collapsed near a train station 2 towns away. When she opened her eyes, she didn't look surprised to see me, just tired. I didn't think you'd come, she whispered. I sat beside her and said, You're still my wife, Emily. You may have walked away, but I'm still here. For a while, neither of us spoke. The silence between us this time felt different. Not angry, not guilty, just real. She looked at me, eyes glassy. I don't deserve your kindness. I shook my head. It's not kindness. It's closure. When I walked out of that hospital, I didn't look back. I didn't take her home, didn't call again. I carried the weight long enough. And for the first time in months, the silence felt peaceful, not empty, not cold. Just the sound of something ending the way it was supposed to. Because sometimes the real revenge isn't anger. It's walking away without needing to be heard.